Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. Nate from Charlotte, North Carolina. What dire warning from your parents turned out to be utter bullshit? Okay, my parents, me growing up in the 90s, my parents were absolutely terrified of white people. They heard about Jeffrey Dahmer. They heard about like all these serial murderers and Bundy and all this other stuff. And them being immigrants to the country, they were like, oh my God, don't go to white people's houses. They will eat you, right? And me as a kid, I was fucking terrified. Oh, Jason says Q-tips. But me growing up, I was terrified of white people and interacting too much with them. But then, like, I was the only Asian kid in my neighborhood, right? So I was like, oh, I'm kind of lonely. Like, I want to go play Nintendo at Jimmy's house, And my parents were like, don't go over there. If you do, take your sister with you, so that if something does go down, your sister can escape and let us know, right? And so, like, all this shit they were absolutely terrified of white people for the longest time. And then I grew up, and then I was like, they're not so bad.
Not so bad.
They're not so bad. But yeah, I mean, that was one thing that definitely, yeah. I think my parents are also over that now. They realized it wasn't all white people. It was just a select few murderers.
I don't have a lot for myself, but Deanna's got quite a few that I'm going to share. So
she had a colorful family?
Well, okay, so the biggest one that is the most hilarious is that, those like doorstop, like those, whatever those are. Her parents had her convinced that doing that would legitimately break the door or the door frame. So if that would accidentally happen, she would like freak out and be like, you're gonna break the door, stop that. And it's like, no, really. And then she eventually realized, like, no, her parents just did that to
just to get her to stop doing it. Yeah.
I want to say there was also like her dad had her convinced that, like, I guess this isn't a dire warning, but her dad had told her that he had magnets in his head because he would like lick a spoon or something and stick it to his head in such a way that like, and then so she told at like a parent teacher conference, my dad has magnets in his head.
Did they just assume like he had like a titanium like?
And then no, I think he was like he's like, no, Deanna, I don't have magnets. I'm just fooling you when we do that or something. Like he basically spilled it right there and made her feel like a fool.
Yeah.
But I don't have a lot for my
man,
own parents.
Deanna's parents sound fun.
Yeah.
I can't remember anything that my parents told me per se, but I learned this about a few months ago. My cousin swears up and down that when we were younger, I used to tell her that pickles were cut up pieces of frog.
Oh.
I do not remember telling her that, but she swears up and down that I told her that, and for years she didn't eat pickles. And the other thing she says that I told her that again I don't remember, but that when you sneeze, that it if you don't cover or if you don't duck, it'll come back and hit you in the face like off the wall. So she was like, Josh, for years I used to duck every time I sneezed. It's just like a habit, and I realized I probably tortured my poor cousin often, but I don't remember.
What was the age gap here?
She's let's see, Amanda's 3 or 4 years younger than me.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Yeah. I mean, but I honestly do not remember that, but she says it happens.
I told my younger sister, do you guys remember those old Skittles commercials where they're like, oh, taste the rainbow,
Yep.
And there was a commercial in which this guy put Skittles in the ground and a rainbow grew out of it. I told my sister that's true. And so she, yeah. And being poorer kids, like you would get like one piece of candy like a year, you know what I mean? And we went to the grocery store one day and my mother bought her a pack of Skittles and she poured that whole bag of Skittles in the ground. And I felt so bad.
That's bad.
So bad. I remember like 2 months later, she's like, when does the rainbow come out? I was like, I'm God. So sorry.
That hurts my heart.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Sheila. I love you.